Hi everybody, I'm Robert LaRocca, you know me. Today we're going to take a look at Blair Witch 2, Book of Shadows. I think that this movie is not really a scary movie. It's supposed to fit into the horror genre, but to me it's really about sex, drugs, and rock and roll, the loss of innocence, and saying goodbye to the 90s. And you'll see that the narrative starts at the end of the 90s, 1999, summer. And if you can understand what these words are supposed to mean, here's a bunch of stock footage, various television personalities talking about the original Blair Witch Project. Jay Leno and Conan to lend authenticity. And I think that is Richard Roper, who replaced Gene Siskel when he died. And of course, that's one of my faves there, Roger Ebert at the movies. That was a great television show. The lady from E! Entertainment News. And some dude from NBC. Here are some of the Burkittsville residents. They're a lot of fun. There's Bruce. There's Jeff, played by Jeffrey Donovan. All the characters use their own names for added authenticity. There's the rock lady. I like her. There's Deb. She's a lot of fun. She's got a great line in this. Andrea. She's annoyed by the tourists. There are a bunch of young people dressed in black milling around the cemetery. This movie release coincided with the .com boom. Everyone would have their own website. You can still go to the original Blair Witch website in Google's Wayback Machine and check it out. There's Ronald Cravens, the hippie-turned-conservative sheriff, yelling at the kids. Back to Jeff about the naysayers. And we see that Jeff had a rough go of it. This is him getting his stomach pumped, presumably because of a OD, attempted suicide. So now he's running the witch store after all that, which is good. And the hospital scene here kind of reminds me of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. That's him deciding to run the witch store. Good idea. I like the way the titles reflect in the lake, the water in the lake. That's cool. It's a cool effect. Like I said, this movie isn't scary. Here's some rope around a guy's arm, whatever. There's some foreshadowing, Jeff and the pokey. Here's the real meaning of the movie. Some young people in a cool van going out to do some partying. There's Jeff on the CB. Another tip of the hat to the .com culture and a good shot of the cool van. There's Tristan Schuyler as Tristan. And that's Steve Barker Turner as Steven. There's the van speeding along, kind of like the Mystery Machine on Scooby-Doo. There's Erica Learson as Erica, the Wiccan. Burkittsville is a real place. Here's Google Earth, and I can drill down to Burkittsville. There's the real cemetery, but I don't think they shot the parts in the film there. Let me know what you think. The church tower, to me, looks different. Just take a look at that. That's the real one. And then here coming up is the scene with Kim, director, as the goth. A lot of people were into this goth look in the 90s, and you can see that it was a lot of fun. Everyone is smiling. Goths are fun. Jeff is capturing cool moments. Kim is resting because she's tired. And she looks really pretty there. A lot of people look like this. See the blue in her hair. This was a thing in the 90s. Goth was definitely popular. And everyone enjoyed it. And they're leaving the cemetery. Like I said, I don't think this is the actual cemetery. There, Kim is still resting. She's tired. They pulled a cool van into a convenience store to get some beer. And I like this character coming up, fixing the cooler. He's funny. They buy a warm beer because the cooler isn't working. There's Kim smiling prettily with her hair and eyes. She looks cool as a brunette, but I think she's actually a blonde, I believe. Goths seem to smoke. Don't smoke. There's a scarab ring. There's Kim again. They're all humping backpacks with the camping gear, but Kim isn't carrying as much because she's still tired. Some symbols, and then there's Erica explaining Wicca. Erica is a big person. You'll see that later in comparison to the others. There they are looking at the tree. Some rope. Big deal. There's Erica doing something with leaves. There's Tristan listening to Erica. And here you can see that Erica is larger than Tristan. When you compare the two, Erica's head is bigger. She's probably really smart. There she is, the Earth Child. Tristan is excited to show Erica the picture of Ellie. There's Ellie winking or something. I don't know what that is. Tristan is happy. Here she is with Jeff. Jeff is going to show her his cameras. Tristan is interested. The camera he grabs here is a Handycam. Everyone wanted one of these. I think they were around $3,000. And Tristan's very interested, deservedly so. It's a cool camera. Kim doing her pose. There's the campsite where they will party. And of course, it's a full moon. Jeff is already lit up, feeling good. There's Erica lighting Kim. Erica and Jeff relaxed, talking. Erica's nice profile, lucky. Kim is smiling and looking fine as usual. There's Jeff with a weed apparatus. Tristan and Steven getting into it. The smoking of the pipe, holding hands. There's a bunch of beer. There's Steven lighting a J. And Kim has a J. And Erica again standing tall for Wicca. Jeff setting the scene for Erica's Wicca documentary. Kim doing her goth pose, whatever that is. I think those are mushrooms in the bag. More of Kim posing with her eyes. Goths usually have pretty mouths. I don't know if it's the dark lipstick or what, but she's, good Lord, very attractive. My goodness. Anyway, here's some kissing coming up. Steven and Tristan. There's a jam box with some CD and tape cases down there in the leaves and the dirt. Here's the showdown with the other four, or however many it is, 4 or 5 people in the other tour group, like a ghost tour type thing. There's the face-off with the 2 cameras. Jeff with his camera. Now here's the Asian couple and the German girl coming up. They're kind of gullible, of course. Well, they traveled a long way for basically nothing. I guess they are gullible. It's kind of a stereotype, though. She's saying she didn't come all the way from Berlin to look at some old trees, but that's where you are. There's Kim's big hit. And is the fire really that big? That's crazy. That's a bonfire. There's some horrible Jack Daniels, gnarly. So they have some vodka. There's wild turkey. There's Jameson he's holding. There's no way that 5 people drank all that alcohol. They would have died. Alcohol lowers inhibitions. There's Erica with Jeff. And Kim guzzling more ale. Next is Jeff, happy, spacing out. And there's Kim, spacing out. She's seeing the knife in the future or something. And I think Kim is like the owl. They both know things. You see the owl, you see Kim. They're the same. And there's the goth makeup coming up, the nice eyeshadow and the eyelashes, very pretty. Tristan dreams that she kills her baby. That's a nightmare. Everybody starts to wake up the next morning and all their stuff is destroyed. And to me, this is kind of like the death of analog, and they're upset about it. That's the meaning I get out of this. They're all just sort of waking up after this big long party in the 90s and wondering what happened. And it is upsetting, and Steven's upset. Steven and Tristan. There's a bent tripod. That's very upsetting. And this is kind of like, I would say, like the end of Paper, the end of Innocence. It's like watching your youth being ripped apart. And I think that's what this part means. But this paper, actually, it looks to me like it went through, particularly when what Steven's holding, it looks like it went through a shredder, you know, all these like the little perfect like little squares, because you couldn't do that with your hands. You know, it wouldn't look like that here coming up where he's, you know, you see that looks like that's a shredder that did that for sure. Coming up here is Kim. She's about to show them where the tapes are. They don't believe her, but she knows where the tapes are. And there are the tapes with a bunch of crud and leaves all over them. They will still play. And there's Jeff yelling at Erica for her dumb question. And Kim is crying. It was the last party. This is the last of analog, the last of the good times, and the last of their youth. So it's sad. I understand. I feel bad. Feel bad to see her cry. You never want somebody with a face like that to cry, you know. Whenever I'm crying, people are usually really like, yeah, make him cry some more. Whoopee. For her, it's sad. There's Steven with his stupid haircut. And something is wrong with Tristan. There's Cravens. He's mad at the young guy because he's too old to party anymore. And Erica's doing tarot. She sees something in the cards that upsets her. And Kim knows because she has psychic powers. We'll see her in a moment. Yeah, she knows that Tristan has lost her baby. And for some reason, there's an old-timey nurse just for added weirdness. There's the old hippie turned conservative sheriff. But now the good times can roll again. They're at Jeff's cool pad. There's another camera. This part to me is speaking about what many people wish they had, a place to call home that no one can take away. There's Kim doing her pose. She's a hot little devil. And Tristan is happy with her free merch. There's Jeff happy that Tristan's happy. And Kim says this place is cool. And it is cool. Most of us like a nice big old factory to live in, I think. Kim remarks that Jeff isn't sane, and he remembers the hospital and thinks like, why did she say that? What a mean thing to say. And that is a little unlike her to say something like that. Kind of weird. He's got that look on his face. I don't understand it either. Here's a shot coming up of a couple not getting along. What a surprise. Here's the video editing area, a Gibson guitar in the background. Indicating more fun. This is a fun place. Everyone is watching the editing process intently. There are some more drugs, the sleepy kind of drugs. And the time code skipping a couple hours forward and then back, which is a big part of the movie there. Important. There's Jeff brooding about why his girlfriend is being such a bitch. Erica sees her chance to get down with Steven. Actually, that wasn't Jeff. I'm sorry, that was Steven. And you can see her head is even bigger than his, which is fine. This is some kind of special effects mold. Very cool. And there's a nice, big, cool table. I see these things and I wish I had them. There's nothing like a nice, big table, you know, with the Doritos on it. And Erica doesn't have a clue there. Jeff and Kim are suspicious. Erica is upset. She starts repeating an invocation of Persephone. And Kim is trying to snap her out of it, but she can't. Kim takes the van to the crappy little store to get more beer. Kim, beer. And there's a dumb redneck. They even have them up north. They're everywhere. Here comes a reference to old technology, the Bell system, but it's also the foundation of our modern networks. And there's the AC guy finally done. It seems like those repairs always take forever. There's another local. Kim trying to chill her out, just saying I'm buying groceries. And here comes Peggy, and Peggy's being a bitch because she's bored. There's Kim winding up, getting wound up. And Peggy unwisely continues her bitchiness, turning on the security cam with the little switch. I've never seen anything like that. Kim is mad because Peggy is blocking the alcohol. You'll see this. Peggy's getting in the way of Kim's alcohol, and that makes Kim very angry. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. And there's the money in the face shot. To me, that's a funny joke. I don't know if everybody would think that's funny, but to me, that's a good one. And the soda machines are always out of order in these crappy places, always. But you can buy a fan belt. There's one of those lonely old backwoods roads. Coming up, that's a Discman with an adapter that's shaped like a cassette tape that you put in the cassette deck. There's a 5 dice, and a lot of the music in this film is actually recorded by John 5. There's Kim back at Jeff's cool pad with some beer. This scene coming up reminds me of Shocker by Wes Craven. That came out in '89, and I think somebody in this film liked Wes Craven. The sheriff's name is also Craven, Cravens, whatever. There's the bridge shot. Here comes a cool candle holder there in the background, kind of like a video from the 80s left over. Steven next to Alligator Boy. And coming up is some green growing. You know, when you have your own place, you can grow some green. Now, this coming up is truly a sad sight. This is what I mean about the sadness of loss. And why is the seat torn out? There's Tristan talking some kind of jive. She's freaking out. Kim is tripping. Here comes an old guitar, again, signifying good times. Look over on the right there. This shot coming up to me is like, look at all the cool stuff that Erica was wearing. Like, look at all the great stuff she got to wear. They got the rings and the bracelets and the necklaces and everything, the clothes even. But Kim just thinks that, you know, she's holding up that pentacle, and she's thinking like, no way, Erica wouldn't be caught dead without this. So it's very upsetting to her. And there is Kim experiencing the loss of her friend, which is very sad. That's a pod. People used to use these for meetings before we had Teams, and you would just dial. There's a little dial pad. Look over to the right. That's a calendar book and a pot of coffee. So this is a meeting, but it's not a meeting with a bunch of annoying people like it usually is. These people are all young, cool, and having a good time together. This is the way that meetings should be, but rarely are. And there's more alcohol there on the left. They're getting ready to have a conversation with the sheriff while he's live on TV. This wouldn't actually be possible because it would be a satellite and there would be like a 2-second delay. So they wouldn't be able to be synced up like that with the phone and the live broadcast, but it's a cool idea. I like it. So sorry about, just when you watch it, just forget about that. It's not really important. I don't want to ruin everything. More of the cool pad. There's a fridge from a hospital there in the background and a pinball machine. And there's Jeff on a rocking horse rocking an old digital watch. You see there on his wrist. There's the angry hippie turned conservative again. And there's Kim having some chicken, a non-vegan goth. Erica on the bridge walking backwards, still looking amazing for being dead. Yeah, you can see the property of Pearson College, and Pearson College is a satellite of Yale in Connecticut. So there's a phone book, and next to it is a BCT DT32, I think, something like that, Betacam tape. Some more analog stuff there underneath the phone book. That's a folder and a photo. So we don't have those anymore. That's the loss of analog. And here come some cops in crappy suits. In the next scene, stay away from guys like these. They will ruin your life. You can just see they're miserable and they're going to take it out on you. Here comes chipped black fingernail polish on the thumbnail. That's a goth standard right there. Kim's chipped polish. And here comes some personal information in analog form. You won't see this anymore. It's a folder, a real folder that you know has all the photos and documents. And here's Kim coming up, still hurting from everything that was taken away from her. And Tristan talking some more jive. She's turned into a complete lunatic by now. Now here is where the real party was starting to take place, right at the witching hour at 3 a.m. And here comes some ooh-ah ritual sacrifice. Frank Zappa. And here's some more of Tristan being mean, still going strong. And they talk about like these bodies being laid out in the shape of a pentagram. I don't really get that. There's 5 of them with their heads together. It's not really a pentagram, whatever. And there's a long knife that came from somewhere. Nobody knows. Never saw it again. Look at her face. Kim didn't do anything. This is a setup. Look at that face. There's Peggy getting her name badge flicked by Kim with her goth fingernail. And there's the cop in the bad suit. Again, stay away from him. Here's the news media, like vultures, with some more cameras. And coming up, this lady, why is she angry? This next woman that's coming up here, why is she upset? What is she mad about? I don't know. There's another guy with a mic. Here is another bridge, but this one is going to a place that isn't cool. It's like the opposite of cool. And I wanted to say about this guy, isn't he a little young to be a cop? Looks like a kid. There's coffee and video together again. And here comes the main character credits. You can see they use their name, their real name for the first name. And yes, thank you for watching my video. I hope you all had fun. I really appreciate it. I love you. Take care.